My name is Phyllis Carden. This is my PowerPoint presentation on Chapter 10 for Quality Control. Quality control is a process that measures output relative to a standard and takes corrective action when the output does not meet standards. Inspection. Inspection is an appraisal of goods and services. Process control is a procedure that monitors during the production process. Acceptance sampling involves inspections before and after production. Where to inspect in the process. Some of the typical inspection points are raw materials and purchase parts, finished products, before a costly operation, before an irreversible process, and before a covering process. Strategical process control. Quality of conformance is a product or service conforms to specifications. Strategical process control is used to evaluate process output to decide if a process is in control or if corrective action is needed. Random variance is the natural or inherited process variation in a process output created by a countless minor factors. Assignable variation is a process output, a variation whose cause can be identified. Sampling and sampling distribution. Sampling distribution is a theoretical distribution of sample strategies. Central limit theorem is a distribution of sample averages tends to be normal regardless of the shape of the process distribution. Sampling and corrective actions are only part of the control process. Effective control requires the following steps: define, measure, compare, evaluate, correct, and monitor results. Control charts. Control chart is a visual tool for monitoring forecast errors. Control limit is the dividing line between random and non-random deviations from the mean of the distribution. Type 1 error is concluding a process is not in control when it is. Type 2 error is concluding a process is in control when it's not. Variables generate data that are measured, and attributes generate data that are counted. And here's an example of a means chart. Range control chart is a control chart used to monitor process dispersions. And here's an example. P-chart is a control chart for attributes used to monitor the proportions of the defective area in a process. C-chart is a control chart used to monitor the number of defects in a unit. And here are the different things for a C-chart and a P-chart. When to use control charts. This is at what point in the process to use control charts, what size samples to take, what types of control chart to use, and how often should samples be taken. Process capabilities. Specification range of acceptance values established by engineering design or customer requirements. Control limits are strategic limits that reflect the extent to which samples strategies such as means and range can vary due randomness alone. Process variability reflects the natural or inherent variability in a process. It is measured in terms of the process standard deviation. Process capability refers to the inherent variability or process output relations to the variation allowed by the design specification. And here are some of the this is the process capability improvements. And here are the limitations of capabilities indexes. And I got all this from the Operations Management 13th edition book. Thank you very much.